Hey, Bobby and Dan, how you doing today?
Fantastic.
This is Grant Matthews at HiddenRoad.com. I just wanted to ask you guys both, between Mayweather and McGregor later on this month and possibly Brock Lesnar and John Jones maybe later this year, if not next year, do you think there's a chance we see any more instances of crossovers in combat sports in the future? And if so, if there's any specific fight match that you would like to see?
I think people are going to go where the money is. Obviously, Mayweather and McGregor is huge. It'll be one of the biggest pay-per-views of all time. And I know there's lots of guys at our gym, including Juju Dos Santos, has already started calling out professional heavyweight boxers. You know, people want to go where the buzz is, and they want to see the matchups that are going to pay themselves the most amount of money. So I would not be surprised at all, based on the success of the show coming up, if you don't see at least more guys calling each other out. Now, whether or not those fights come to fruition, I guess that's up to the promoters and how hard the fans want to see it.
Yeah, and I can't really think of a matchup that I could think of offhand, but that's what everybody wants, the big money fights, so that's what we're all doing.
My question for you would be, I know your initial stint in TNA many years ago did not last long, around 2009, 2010, but how would you compare the atmosphere between TNA back then and GFW in present day? And why did you prompt to return to the company when you did a number of years ago back in 2014?
Okay. Well, I never really wanted to leave in the first place. My first stint with TNA or GFW was a chance. We were trying what we're trying now. We're trying what we're doing now. Before, no one really knew the commitment needed to be able to do professional wrestling and pro wrestling. No one knew. And then when we found out, it started becoming a little complicated. So at that point, I had to kind of step away because I was pursuing MMA. But now it's different. It's different. There's more communication, because that's the only way that it can happen. There's the only way that I could be able to fight and do professional wrestling at the same time is if there's cooperation and there's communication between the MMA side and the professional wrestling side. And I mean, it's been really easy lately because everybody understands and everybody sees the big picture. The fighting has been beneficial to my wrestling, and the wrestling has been beneficial to my fighting. So everybody's on board to make it really calm, really easy. So I'm able to do it. And I'm going to continue to do it as long as I can, because right now I can't. I know we're dealing with something right now, whether or not I can devote enough time to be able to be completely successful and as successful as I possibly can in fighting, but we'll figure that out. I'm just excited to have the opportunity to do it.
Of course, Kurt Angle's now back in the WWE as the Raw GM, but on record, you did have his last televised match to date, late last year and early last year, rather, in GFW. I just wanted to get what it meant to you to wrestle Kurt Angle's final televised match to GFW.
That match was, I've done wrestling from big pay-per-views all the way across the world, from WrestleMania to everything else. That one, I put that one all the way on the top. I mean, not on the top of everything, but I think it's like my top two, top three. And the reason being is I've always looked up to Kurt. I was watching Kurt when I was in high school, wrestling, and Kurt was winning nationals in college. And then when I went to college and I was winning national championships in college, Kurt was winning the Olympic championships and world championships. And then I just kind of followed him all the way up. And then afterwards, when I was at the Olympic Training Center, Kurt actually came to the Olympic Training Center to do a vignette, and Kurt's the one that found me. He said, "Man, you ever think about professional wrestling?" We talked a little bit, passed my number on, and the rest is history. I mean, he was the one that got me into professional wrestling. And for the time that we were in, for 12 years I was in professional wrestling, me and Kurt never even crossed paths. When I went to WWE, he went to TNA. When I went to TNA, he stepped out and was fighting. And then he came back, and I was out, and I went fighting, and I finally came back. So the whole time, this person that got me in there mentored me along the way. We would always talk on the phone, and he would talk to me about different matches and what to do, and just kind of help me out with the just politics of wrestling, and just kind of mentored me all the way. And then actually having the opportunity to wrestle him towards the end, that was the one thing that I was jockeying and pulling for so hard, especially with TNA last year. As I was telling him, man, if Kurt's getting ready to retire, you guys got to get something. You got to get me in the ring with him. And it was incredible. We had two big matches, and each time it was just incredible. It was like you're in the ring with your teacher. That's kind of how it was for me. I like Kurt's style. I mimicked Kurt's style to a certain extent. So to me, it was amazing.